All right, strap in everyone, we're going deep into the world of day trading today.
Sounds exciting.
It is, especially since so many people dream of this lifestyle.
Yeah, working from anywhere, making tons of money.
Exactly. And our guide for this deep dive is Andrew Aziz's book, How to Day Trade for a Living.
A great choice. It's packed with practical advice.
So first things first, is day trading really all it's cracked up to be? Can we all quit our jobs and trade from a beach somewhere?
Well, Aziz is very clear about this. Day trading isn't a get-rich-quick scheme.
Right. Definitely not a lottery ticket.
It's more like building a business. It takes work, discipline, and a lot of learning.
So no magic formulas or secret strategies?
Nope. Aziz himself is constantly learning, even though he's achieved that dream of trading from exotic locations.
He walks the walk then.
He does, and he emphasizes that success comes from treating it like a serious endeavor, not just following random stock tips.
Got it. So no shortcuts, no easy money. But if it's like a business, how do we compete with the Wall Street giants, those massive institutions?
That's where Aziz's guerrilla warfare analogy comes in.
Oh yeah, that caught my eye. It sounds intense.
It is. He compares retail traders to guerrilla fighters, going up against a much larger, more powerful force.
So we need to be strategic, pick our battles carefully.
Exactly. We can't win by trying to overpower the big players. Instead, we need to focus on areas where we have an advantage.
Like what? What's our secret weapon?
Agility and focus. Aziz says we should target stocks that are moving independently of the overall market, stocks he calls stocks in play.
Stocks in play. I like the sound of that. What makes these stocks so special?
These are the stocks that are being driven by forces that day traders can actually exploit. Things like sudden increases in volume, news catalysts, or significant pre-market price jumps.
So it's like learning to read the signs, figuring out where the action is going to be.
Precisely. Aziz provides specific criteria for identifying these stocks, like looking for gappers, stocks that have a big price jump before the market even opens.
Okay, I'm starting to see the strategy here. Find the stocks in play, understand the forces driving them, and then, what? Jump in and start trading.
Not so fast. This is where risk management comes in.
Ah, the dreaded risk management. Everyone talks about it, but it's not always the most exciting topic.
It might not be glamorous, but it's absolutely crucial. It's what separates those who blow up their accounts from those who succeed in the long run.
So how do we approach this? What's Aziz's take on risk management?
He has this brilliant rule he calls the milk jug rule.
Milk jug rule. Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Imagine your trading account is a carton of milk. Essential, right?
I wouldn't want to spill it, that's for sure.
Exactly. The rule is simple. Never risk more than 2% of your milk, your trading capital, on a single trade.
So even if you're feeling super confident about a trade, don't go all in.
Right. It's about preserving your capital, making sure you can keep trading and learning, even if you have a few losing trades.
This is starting to make a lot of sense. Okay, risk management check. What about the tools? What do we need to actually execute these trades? I'm guessing a good broker is at the top of the list.
You got it. But it's not as simple as just picking any broker. Aziz gets into this thing called the Pattern Day Trader Rule, or PDT rule.
The PDT rule, that sounds ominous. What's that all about?
It's a rule that limits the number of day trades you can make if your account balance is below $25,000.
So if you have a smaller account, you're limited in how much you can trade.
Exactly. And that's why Aziz actually recommends considering offshore brokers in certain situations.
Offshore brokers. Wait, is that legal?
It can be, depending on your circumstances and location, and Aziz is very transparent about the pros and cons.
But there are trade-offs involved.
There always are. Offshore brokers can offer more flexibility, but they can also come with higher risks.
Okay, so choosing the right broker is a crucial decision. What about the actual trading platform? What are we looking for there?
Speed is key in day trading. We need a platform that can execute orders almost instantaneously.
So those clunky online banking apps are out of the question.
Definitely. Aziz is a big fan of direct access brokers, platforms that connect you directly to the market, cutting out the middleman.
Direct access brokers. That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie. Why are they so important?
They give you more control, more transparency, and most importantly, much faster execution speeds.
I can see how that would be critical in a fast-moving market. So what's Aziz's platform of choice?
He recommends Interactive Brokers and the DAS Trader platform. These platforms offer real-time data, advanced charting, and that all-important speed.
Okay, Interactive Brokers and DAS Trader. Noted. Is there anything else we absolutely need in our day trading toolkit?
Yes. Aziz is a big proponent of using NASDAQ Level 2.
NASDAQ Level 2, what's that all about?
Think of it like X-ray vision for the market. It lets you see the depth of the market, the bid and ask prices at every level, giving you a real-time view of the buying and selling pressure behind a stock.
Wow, that's like having a secret window into the minds of other traders.
It is, and it gives you a significant advantage because you can anticipate price movements based on order flow rather than just reacting to the price chart.
Okay, NASDAQ level 2 check. Anything else?
One last thing, hotkeys.
Hotkeys? What are those? Some kind of cheat code?
Not exactly. They're keyboard shortcuts that let you execute trades with lightning speed. Aziz has his setup to buy and sell instantly without having to click through multiple menus.
So it's all about speed and efficiency, being able to react quickly to those market movements.
Exactly. But even with all the right tools and strategies, there's one element that can make or break a day trader psychology.
Ah, yes, the mental game. I've heard it said that trading is 90% psychology.
It's definitely a huge factor. Emotions like fear and greed can lead to impulsive decisions and big losses.
So how do we master this psychological aspect of trading? How do we become emotionally bulletproof?
Aziz has some interesting techniques for this. First, he stresses the importance of a pre-trade routine.
A routine, like what, cup of coffee and a quick meditation?
He actually recommends physical exercise as a way to manage stress and get into that peak performance mindset.
Wait, he works out before trading. That's interesting.
He does, and he also talks about mental preparation techniques like visualization. But here's the really interesting part. He recommends something called the P&L blindfold.
The P&L blindfold. Okay, now I'm really curious. What is that?
It sounds crazy, but he actually covers up his profit and loss while he's trading.
Wow, he's blocking out all the noise, just focusing on the process.
Exactly. It's about removing that emotional roller coaster of watching your account balance fluctuate and making decisions based on logic and strategy.
That's fascinating. It really shows how much of trading is about mental discipline. But let's get into the strategies now, the actual tactics that can help us make money in the market.
Sounds good. Aziz covers a wide range of strategies in his book.
Let's start with the ABCD pattern. That one sounds almost too simple to be true. Is it really that effective?
It can be surprisingly powerful, especially for beginners.
Yeah.
It helps you visualize those market swings between support and resistance levels.
Like a stock bouncing between two walls.
Exactly. The ABCD pattern helps you anticipate when that bounce might be about to reverse direction.
So it's all about timing, catching those turning points.
Right. And Aziz does a great job of illustrating the pattern with real-world examples, showing you exactly how to identify the entry point, set your stop loss, and determine your profit target.
I love that he gets into the nitty-gritty details, not just the theory. So the ABCD pattern is about spotting those potential reversals. What other strategies does he cover?
Well, he also dives into more advanced reversal strategies, techniques for capitalizing on those sudden shifts in momentum.
Like catching a wave just as it's about to crest.
Exactly. And one of the most exciting examples of this is the short squeeze. It's when those who bet against a stock, the shorts, are forced to buy back their shares, driving the price up rapidly.
So like a recipe for chaos and potentially big profits.
It can be both. And Aziz shows us how to use candlestick patterns to identify the telltale signs of a potential reversal, including a short squeeze.
Candlestick patterns, those always look like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics to me.
They might seem intimidating at first, but they're actually quite simple once you understand the language. Aziz breaks down the key formations like the hammer, the shooting star, and the doji, and explains how they reflect changes in market sentiment.
It's like learning to read the body language of the market.
Precisely. And he emphasizes the importance of confirming those signals with other indicators and with your own analysis of the overall market conditions.
So no jumping on board a rocket ship just because a single candlestick pattern is flashing green.
Right. It's about being a cautious and informed trader, not a reckless gambler. Okay. Candlestick patterns? Check. What else is in Aziz's bag of tricks?
Let's talk about the VWAP strategy. I've heard that one thrown around, but I'm not exactly sure what it means.
VWAP stands for Volume Weighted Average Price. It's a line on the chart that shows you the average price a stock is traded at throughout the day, weighted by volume.
Okay, that sounds a bit technical. How can we actually use VWAP in our trading?
Think of it like a magnet that attracts price action. Institutional investors, the big players, often use VWAP as a benchmark for their trades.
So if a stock breaks above VWAP, it could mean the big money is moving in.
Exactly. And Aziz shows us how to use VWAP to identify key support and resistance levels, to spot potential breakouts and breakdowns, and even to time our entries and exits.
It's like having a secret map to the institutional trading floor. But even with all these strategies, I imagine there's no guarantee of success, right?
Absolutely not. Trading is inherently risky, and there will always be losses. But Aziz's book gives us the tools and the knowledge to manage that risk and increase our chances of success.
That's what we're all looking for. Speaking of success, Aziz has one more strategy he calls his holy grail, the opening range breakout, or ORB.
The ORB. It's a strategy that focuses on those crucial first few minutes of the trading day.
The opening bell, that's when things get really wet.
Exactly. The ORB strategy is all about identifying stocks that are poised for a big move right out of the gate. You analyze pre-market trading activity, identify the opening range, and then set your orders to capture those breakouts.
Sounds like a high-stakes game.
It can be, but it can also be incredibly profitable if you can master it.
I can't wait to dive into the specifics of these strategies in the next part of our deep dive. This has been an amazing overview so far. We've covered risk management, tools, psychology, and a whole bunch of strategies.
We've barely scratched the surface, but this is just the beginning. In the next part, we'll get into the details of Aziz's favorite strategies with real-world examples and actionable advice.
This is getting me pumped. I'm already feeling like a day trading ninja in training.
Just remember, it's a journey, not a destination. There's always more to learn and improve upon.
Well said. So let's take a quick break and come back ready to dive even deeper into the world of day trading.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, we're back and ready to get into the nitty-gritty of these day trading strategies.
Let's do it.
Now, I remember Aziz starts with a pattern that seems pretty basic, the ABCD pattern.
Right, the ABC.
It almost sounds too simple. Is it really that effective in the real world?
You'd be surprised. It's a great starting point for new traders, helps you visualize how the market moves.
Okay, walk me through it.
So imagine a stock bouncing between support and resistance levels, kind of like a ping pong ball.
I can picture that.
The ABCD pattern basically helps you recognize when that ball might be about to change direction.
So it's about timing, catching those reversals.
Exactly. And what I like about Aziz's approach is he shows you exactly how to apply it step by step.
Uses real examples, right?
He does, with charts and everything. He walks you through identifying those ABCD points, setting your entry, your stop loss, your profit target.
That's what makes it so practical. You can actually see how it works in real trades.
Right. It's not just theory. He even breaks down a trade he made on PG&E, a really volatile stock.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Pretty wild ride.
It was, but the ABCD pattern played out perfectly.
So even in a crazy market, these patterns can repeat themselves.
They often do, because ultimately it's human behavior driving those price movements. And human behavior tends to follow certain patterns.
Fear and greed, those classic market drivers.
Exactly. So once you start to recognize those patterns, you can start to anticipate them.
Okay, ABCD pattern, check. What's next on our trading strategy hit list?
Well, Aziz then moves into reversal strategies, ways to profit from those sudden shifts in momentum.
Reversals, those sound a bit riskier, but also potentially more rewarding.
They can be both. You're trying to catch a falling knife, so to speak.
But if you time it right.
Exactly. And one of the most dramatic examples of a reversal is the short squeeze.
Ah, the short squeeze. I've had tales of those.
They can be legendary. It's when those who bet against a stock are forced to buy it back, sending the price soaring.
Like a rocket taking off.
That's a good analogy. And Aziz shows us how to use candlestick patterns to spot those potential short squeezes before they happen.
Okay, candlestick patterns again. Those still seem like a mystery to me.
They're not as complicated as they look, I promise. Each candlestick tells a story about the battle between buyers and sellers.
So it's like deciphering a secret code.
In a way, yes. Aziz breaks down the key formations, like the hammer, the shooting star, and the doji.
Those names sound pretty dramatic.
They are. Each pattern reflects a shift in market sentiment, a potential change in direction.
It's like reading the tea leaves of the market.
Exactly. But as with any indicator, it's important to confirm those signals, to look for other supporting evidence.
No blindly jumping into a trade just because one candlestick looks promising.
Right. It's all about having a holistic view of the market. Okay, so we've got candlestick patterns, short squeezes. What other reversal strategies are out there?
Well, Aziz also talks about moving average crossovers.
Okay.
I've seen those lines on charts, but I've never really understood how to use them.
Moving averages are basically trend lines that smooth out the noise of daily price fluctuations. They help you see the bigger picture.
So they filter out the distractions.
Exactly. And the crossover strategy is simply looking for points where two moving averages intersect.
Like two ships passing in the night.
That's a good visual. Those crossover points can signal a potential change in trend, a reversal in momentum.
So you're not just looking at the price itself, you're looking at the relationship between different moving averages.
Right. It's another layer of analysis, another way to confirm your trading decisions.
This is all starting to come together.
Yeah.
We've got the ABCD pattern for spotting those initial reversals, candlestick patterns for early warning signs, and moving average crossovers for confirmation.
You're getting it. It's like having multiple tools in your toolbox, each one serving a different purpose.
And the more tools you have, the better equipped you are to handle those market challenges.
Absolutely. Okay, now let's talk about a strategy that takes a slightly different approach, the VWAP strategy.
VWAP. That one always sounds a bit intimidating. What's the secret behind this strategy?
It's all about understanding how the big institutions trade. VWAP stands for volume weighted average price.
Okay, break that down for me.
It's basically a line on the chart that shows you the average price a stock has traded at throughout the day, weighted by volume.
So it takes into account both price and volume.
Exactly. And the key here is that institutional investors often use VWAP as a benchmark for their trades.
So if a stock is trading above VWAP, it could mean the big money is buying.
Right. And if it's trading below VWAP, it could signal selling pressure from those big players.
So it's like following the footprints of elephants in the jungle, seeing where they're moving.
That's a great way to put it. And Aziz shows you how to use VWAP to identify those key support and resistance levels, to spot potential breakouts and breakdowns, and even to time your entries and exits.
It's like having a secret weapon, a way to see what the smart money is doing.
It can definitely give you an edge. But remember, it's not a foolproof system. You still need to do your own analysis, understand the company you're trading, and consider the overall market context.
Right. No blindly following the herd.
Exactly. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground here. We've got ABCD patterns, candlestick reversals, moving average crossovers, and the VWAP strategy.
My head is spinning, but in a good way. It's
Yeah.
amazing how many different approaches there are to day trading.
And we haven't even gotten to Aziz's favorite strategy yet, the opening range breakout, or ORB.
Ah, yes, the ORB, the holy grail of day trading, as he calls it.
It's a strategy that focuses on those first few minutes of the trading day, when volatility is often at its peak.
Those opening minutes can be wild. Stocks can move so much in such a short time.
Exactly. And the ORB strategy is all about identifying those stocks that are poised for a big move right out of the gate. You analyze pre-market trading activity, identify the opening range, and then set your orders to catch those breakouts.
It sounds like you need nerves of steel to trade the ORB.
It definitely requires a certain level of comfort with risk, but the potential rewards can be huge.
I'm starting to understand why Aziz calls it his holy grail. But before we dive into the ORB, let's take a quick break. We'll be back to explore this exciting strategy and more in the final part of our deep dive.
Sounds good. We'll be right back.
We're back for the final part of our deep dive into day trading with Andrew Aziz and his book, How to Day Trade for a Living.
Ready to wrap things up?
Ready as I'll ever be, I think. We've covered so much already, strategies, tools, psychology, but now it's like, okay, how do I actually do this? Where do I start?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And Aziz doesn't leave you hanging.
Good, because I'm all ears.
He's a big believer in starting with a solid foundation.
Makes sense, like building a house.
Exactly. And for him, that foundation is education and a lot of simulated trading.
So not jumping right into the deep end with real money.
Nope. Get comfortable with the market's rhythm, practice your strategies, build your confidence.
But isn't simulated trading kind of fake?
It is, in the sense that you're not risking real money. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't treat it seriously.
So like a flight simulator for pilots.
Yeah, great analogy. Develop a routine, stick to your plan, analyze your trades. It's all about building those winning habits from the start.
I like that. Practice like you play.
Exactly. Okay, so you've mastered the simulator. Now what?
Now the real fun begins.
Well, hold on. Preparation is key.
I knew there was a catch.
Before you even think about placing a trade, Aziz says you need a clear plan for your trading day.
Like a battle plan.
Exactly. What are your goals? Which stocks are you watching? What's the overall market sentiment? Have your watch list ready. Do your research.
So, no winging it.
Definitely not. And even with all the preparation, there's one thing you absolutely need to succeed in day trading.
Let me guess. Patience.
That's part of it, for
Yeah.
sure. But Aziz also talks about determination, hard work, a real commitment to the craft.
It's a job, basically.
More than that, I'd say. It's like any skill you want to master, whether it's playing an instrument or becoming a chef.
Takes practice, dedication.
Exactly. And there will be setbacks, losses, moments of self-doubt. That's just part of the process.
So how do we stay motivated when those tough times hit?
This is where discipline comes in. Sticking to your plan, even when your emotions are screaming at you to do otherwise. Avoiding those knee-jerk reactions that can blow up your account.
Easier said than done sometimes.
For sure. But that's what separates the amateurs from the professionals. The ability to stay calm under pressure, to trust the process you've built.
It's a mental game as much as anything else.
Absolutely. And here's another thing Aziz talks about that I found really helpful, the importance of community.
Community. Isn't day trading kind of a solitary activity?
It can be if you let it. But Aziz emphasizes finding your trading tribe, your people, those who understand the challenges and can offer support.
Like a support group for traders.
In a way, yes, mentorship is huge too, having someone who's been there, done that, who can guide you along the way.
That makes a lot of sense. Learning from those who've already walked the path.
Exactly. And finally, don't underestimate the power of reflection and review.
Looking back at your trades, analyzing what worked and what didn't.
Exactly. Keep a trading journal. Document your decisions, your emotions, everything. It's the best way to learn and improve over time.
Wow, we've covered so much in this deep dive. It's really eye-opening to see how much goes into becoming a successful day trader.
It's definitely more than just picking stocks and clicking buttons.
So much more. It's about preparation, discipline, continuous learning, building a community, even mastering your own mind.
And what I really appreciate about Andrew Aziz's book is that he doesn't sugarcoat it. He's honest about the challenges, the risks, the hard work involved.
It's refreshing to hear that honesty. No false promises of overnight riches.
Nope. Just practical advice, real-world strategies, and a roadmap for those who are willing to put in the effort.
Well, if anyone's feeling inspired to explore the world of day trading after listening to this deep dive, Andrew Aziz's book, How to Day Trade for a Living, is definitely a great place to start.
Couldn't agree more. It's packed with valuable insights and actionable advice.
And remember, everyone, trading always involves risk. So be sure to do your research, manage your risk responsibly, and never trade with money you can't afford to lose.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Always trade smart, trade safe.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. We hope you found it informative and maybe even a little bit inspiring.
And if you're ready to take that next step on your trading journey, remember, knowledge is power.
Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive into a fascinating topic.
Until then, happy trading, everyone.